Okay, so we've got the bird food spread out here on this table, and this spoon represents the pelican beak, and we're going to see how effective or how the spoon bill of a pelican would work for eating. So trying to get just one thing at a time, put it in the cup, and those are hard to get. Let's see if I can get, there we go, the loose. If I bump the ball into something, I can maybe get it. The shells, if I work hard at it, I can get those. Let's see how we're doing here. I can get a bean. The erasers, some of these are tricky to get. I don't know about if I can get any of the rice. Oh, I did get a kernel of rice. Using the spoon, though, might be easier to go for some of the bigger things. The spoon picks up the bigger, heavier things much easier than the really tiny things. So the spoon seems to be effective on larger, heavier things. Little beans once in a while, but harder to get them. Okay, this time we're going to try the tweezers, which in the photos of the birds represents the oyster catcher. A lot of birds seem to have this kind of beak that is more of a pinching kind of beak. Let's see how it does here. Oh, real easy to pick up the worms. I'm supposed to do one at a time. Those two are stuck together. Let's see if I stab, but I'm not sure my beak is big enough to actually eat this thing. But I can pick it up. I can't drop it though. Let's try the little beans. Oh, well, how about the erasers? The erasers work pretty well. Let's try a big bean. Big bean's a little trickier. Those bigger ones are a little trickier, but the worms are really simple. So let me quick grab, eat up the worms and things like that. Oh, I didn't try a shell. I know there's some shells down here. The oyster catcher lives on the beach, and I don't know that it wouldn't eat shells, but maybe the things in the shells. But it might work best to have a different beak to get inside that shell right there, but it can pick it up. So that's too tricky. There we go. So that is a tweezer or pincher beak. It did pretty well collecting, especially the worm type things, which makes sense because those are a lot of birds in Minnesota have a pincher beak like that, and they eat a lot of worms in Minnesota. Okay, this time we're going to try the toothpick, which represents sort of the beak of a hummingbird, or the swallow-billed hummingbird is the one in the photos that I shared with you. Mostly this is only going to be good for stabbing. I don't have any flowers for this to go after, but I think it will pick up. Yes, I can stab into those styrofoam balls and pick those up, but it's a little tricky. So the main point of, whoop, I chased that one away. The main point of this lesson is that every structure has a different function. So the swallow-billed hummingbird and all the hummingbirds mostly would eat nectar. They wouldn't be picking up these big chunks like this, but it shows how I couldn't pick up these worms at all, the shells at all, the beans at all. So the hummingbird beak is a perfect example of a structure that's designed for a certain function, and it is to reach deep into the flowers to drink up the nectar. So again, structures and functions. We've seen 3 different types of beaks, and this beak is really designed for one function and one function only, and it's not to eat worms and seeds and different things. It's to drink from flowers.